Okay, so it's day 2 at Mecum motorcycle auctions in Vegas in late January. And we're kind of hustling because Thursday auctions start at 9 instead of 10 like yesterday, Wednesday's auctions. So we're walking in the building now, but we got 10 minutes before the hammer falls on the first bike, because Vegas is a fun town. And yeah, so let's go see what today has in store for us and if there's any cool stuff. So here I am with the first bikes that are set to go out on the auction floor here, starting with this really custom CB750 single overhead cam. Another 75 like the one I own, except that doesn't look anything like the one I own. It's actually got some really nice details. So let's take a walk through the first bikes that are going to go through the auction, and then we'll see some hit the hammer. CB750 K model, one that somebody spent a lot of time and energy on. There's some things about it that I absolutely love, and there's some things about it that I hate. I love the clean design. I'm not fond of the pod filters. They never seem to work on these bikes, especially with these round top carbs that don't have accelerator pumps. I'm also not fond of this tire clearance here, because if you look underneath, you can see where the tire's been rubbing the back part of the frame. But on the other hand, I do like the exhaust. I like that it's a super bike bar and not a set of clip-ons, so you actually have a halfway decent riding position. I do love these leather grips. I have not seen that before, and I think that's kind of cool. I think it's just a very clean, nice bike. Good 4-in-1 pipe on these, which actually makes decent power. Oh, I didn't notice there were some cracked fins here. But all in all, oh, the best part of this, I have to say, is it has the Behringer brake kit, which is an awesome upgrade for these bikes. The front brakes on these are absolutely terrible, but this Behringer disc and caliper, they're 1,000 times better, and it has the master cylinder to boot. Anyone looking for this kit can, a friend of mine in Lurk Shop in New York, Lurkshop, is a dealer. So if you want this Behringer brake kit for your CB750, highly recommend it, although you may get sticker shock at the price because it is pricey. Oh, I didn't notice it was missing its emblem on this side cover. And that side cover looks kind of beat too. I didn't notice that paint blemishes. But, you know, brand new progressive shocks with dual rates. And the frame, except for the back hoop, hasn't really been cut, you know? And the color scheme's nice. So overall, pluses and minuses, but it's a good bike. We'll see what it hammers for.
Jimmy Amor Landis. Let the games begin. I love you, Mama. T1 now being offered a 75 Honda CB750, a cafe racer built by Classic Octane of Austin, Texas. New seat, new side mirrors, new tires, inline 4-cylinder, 5-speed, no reserve.
Selling at no reserve. How much is somebody get $10,000 bid? Anybody get 10? Anybody get 5? At 5,000, anybody get 5 bid? Anybody get 3? Anybody get 2? $1,000 for it. Somebody give $1,000 here. Anybody get $1,500 bid? Anybody get 1,000? He's in at 1,000, right? $1,000 here. $1,500, $2,000 bid. Anybody get 2? I have $1,500 bid. Anybody get 2,000? Anybody get 2 bid? Anybody get 2? I have $1,500 bid. Anybody get $1,750? Anybody else? At 17, I have 2,000. Now anybody get 22 and a half. At $2,200 bid. Anybody get 2 bid? Anybody get 2? Anybody get 2,200? At $2,200 bid. Anybody get 22 bid? Anybody get 2? Anybody get 25? At $2,500 bid. Anybody get 5 bid? Anybody get 2 bid? Anybody get 2,500? I have 22 and a half bid. Anybody get $2,500 bid? Anybody get 5 bid? Anybody get 2,500? $2,500, Zach, $2,500. At $2,500 bid, anybody get 5 bid? Anybody get 5? Riot here, 25. At $2,500 bid, anybody get 5 bid? You got?
Didn't have any issues yesterday.
Yeah, no issues at all yesterday. 2,500? Oh, 22 and a half. 2,500. 22 and a half bid, anybody get 5 bid? Anybody get 5 bid? Anybody get 2,500? So $2,250, Zach Dentino.
Now offering T2 and 81 Honda.
Now this is what I call a shadow of my youth, because these bikes were new when I was a kid and they were the most awesome thing on the planet. Designed by Helmut Muth for Suzuki. He also designed the R65 LS BMW for BMW, and both those bikes have this distinctive sort of retro-futuristic quarter fairing that's sort of pointed with the headlight that pops up. It has a very sort of Blade Runner kind of, you know, retro-futuristic look to it, but I guess at the time it was just kind of a futuristic look. This one's all stock. Actually has some nice upgrades to the lines and where it matters, but otherwise does not look like a molested bike. It looks very pretty. It is missing a side cover that you're not really supposed to see that usually. I don't know if it's on both sides or, yep, missing on both sides because there's the regulator rectifier. But yeah, otherwise just a really clean, really beautiful 82 Katana. Oh, and it's 1000 cc, so it's a GS 1000.
1000 SC Katana. 4-cylinder engine, odometer reads 40,000 miles. Please note there's Sabi branding on the title, no reserve.
And somebody get 10,000, you better get 10, you better get 5,000, you better get 1,000, you better get $1,500 bid, you better get 15. At $1,500, you get $1,500 for it. Thousands the bid. Anybody get 1,500? I have 1,000, you better get $1,500 now. 2,000, you better get 2. At $1,500 bid, you better get 2,000, you better get $2,500 bid, you better get 25. 3. At 3,000, $3,500 bid. You better get 3, you better get 5 bid, you better get 3,500. At $3,500 bid, you better get $3,500, you get 3,000, you better get 3,500. And now 4,000, you better get 4 bid, you better get 4, you better get 3,500. Now 4. I have $3,500 bid, you better get 4,000. So $3,500 Mecum Live on the internet. So
So here's a bike Dad and I have had our eye on this morning. It's a 59 Norton Dominator 99. It's a 600cc parallel twin in a, I believe this is a wide line featherbed. I can't see. Might be a slim line. The difference between a swim line and a wide line, this is a wide line, is this frame rail comes up straight on the wide lines, and on the slim lines it cuts in, so you can make the tank and the seat narrower, because these are actually fairly wide tank and seat. Otherwise, these are very pretty, you know, honest 600cc motorcycles. And this one actually happens to have Dunstall rear sets that are period correct vintage pieces. It has a drag bar on it instead of the clip-ons. Very nice amp meter, headlight speedometer. And you can see the Dunstall rear set here with the brake linkage. Just an overall pretty honest bike.
Now offering T25, a 59 Norton Dominator 99. This is an older Cafe racer, parallel twin engine, matching engine and frame numbers, no reserve.
how much here? Somebody get 15,000, you better get 15, you better get 10, you better get $5,000. $1,000. Somebody give me $1,000 for it. $1,000, 1,500, 15 bid, 2,000, you better get 2, you better get $2,500 bid, you better get 3. At 3,000, you better get 3 bid, you better get 3. Now 5,3,500, 4. At 4,000, you better get 4 bid, you better get $4,500 bid, you better get 5. At 5,000, now you better get 5 bid, you better get 5 bid, you better get 5. At $5,000 for it. At 5,000, you better get 5 bid, you better get 5 bid, you better get 5,000. Anybody else? At $5,000 selling and no reserve. At 5,000, you better get 5 bid, you better get 4,500 is bid upstairs. 4,500 is the bid. $5,000. At 5,000, you better get 5 bid, you better get 45,500. Paul, I put you in at 4,500, is that right? Yes, 4,500. Now $5,000. $4,500 bid, you better get 5 bid, you better get 5,000. So $4,500. Paul Gunn.
Here's a cool little bike. This is a Ducati 350 F3. So this was a racing homologation bike before they had the super sports. This was sort of the bridge gap between the bevel gear Desmos, like the 900 SS and the later super sports, and then the 916, 996, 998. These are the first of the rubber band motors, so they are belt drive right here. These are Panta derivatives, but here's a cool feature. Look at this giant carburetor screen, and these are Del Ordos, but it's a tiny bike, you know, and it's a beautiful trellis frame, you know. Just an overall cool bike. The F1 would be the 750 of this.
Now offering lot T27, 1987 Ducati 400 F3 with a V-twin, highly original, unrestored.
Here, I'm going to be Ducati tank. I'm going to give 10. I'm going to be 10,000, 3,000 out of 3,500, 4,000 out of it, 4,000 out of 4,500, 9,000 out of 55,000 out of it. I'm going to do 6,000, 6,500 out of it. Here's 6,000 out of down 5,000, 7, down 500 out of 8,000 out of it. 7,500, 8,000 out of bed, down, 8,000 out of bed, down 585, reserve is off, 8,000 out of down 5,500, 8,000 dollars, 85 to bed, 8,000 out of down 500, sold, $8,000 internet.
Oswald family, remember, to win on time, you can't be late. Go to ontime.mecum.com. I'd like to take this time to tell you about some of our loyal sponsors. We've had Dodge on board as a loyal sponsor of Mecum Auctions for a long time. We're glad to have them on board. Dodge, powered with what they do. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. 303, stop by and see them at the 303 booth. They have a great product over there called Crafting Detailing. It has great UV protection. It keeps your bike looking its best all year long. They also have Stay-Bill. Use Stay-Bill in your fuel tank and fuel system while your bike is not in use. Stop by the Mecum shop for all your Mecum merchandise. They have hats, shirts, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, short sleeves, glasses, mugs, PJs, of course, and much, much more. Stop by and see them at the Mecum shop. National Parts Depot, the official parts supplier.
So they're going to start with the Moto Art stuff first, and they have it all lined up here on the front stage. Some very neat stuff. Here's a Von Dutch tribute helmet, Flying Eyeball. I'll never understand I understand the fascination with him, but yeah. And they even have a bicycle.
Get it out, Dunlop British advertisement, Prince, lot of fun.
And somebody give 1,000, bid over to nobody give 1,000, nobody give $500, bid over to nobody give 100, 100 and started, 200 bid, 100 to the front, you're going to be 200, 300 bid over to nobody give 3, 300 bid, 300 bid over to nobody give 300, 300 bid over to nobody give 3, $300 bid, 3 bid, nobody give $300 bid, sir, you want 300 bid over to nobody give 300, 200, you want bid 300 bid, you want 300 bid over to nobody give 300, you want 400 bid over to nobody, I got 300 here, you got to be 400 bid over to nobody get 4, that $300 bid 4 bid over to nobody get $400 bid, last call, anybody get 400, 350, and now 400 bid, anybody get 400?
Alright,
Sold 350, Darian.
The next 6 slots are all original Ed Big Daddy Roth framed posters, all from the collection of Mitch Roth. The first one is Z228, entitled If I Gotta Explain.
And how much here? Somebody give 1,000 bid over to nobody get 1,000, nobody get $500 bid over to nobody get 500 bid over to nobody get $500 bid 3 bid, nobody get $300 bid over to nobody get 3 bid 3, somebody get 300. 400, 500 bid over to nobody get 5. $500 bid over to nobody get 5 bid. 500, 600 bid over to nobody get 600. 56 bid over to nobody get $600 bid over to nobody get 600, 600 bid over to nobody get 600. Where's Jimmy? 500, 600 bid over to nobody get $600 bid, anybody get 600, last call, anybody get 600. Sold 500.
So yesterday we saw a 1927 Scott Flying Squirrel go across the block. Here is a 1930, and you can see they made significant changes to the bike. On the 27, the fuel tank was straight up and down right here. Now it actually goes across the gap of the frame. Still water cooled, huge radiator with a water pump. Kind of impressive for 1930. Even more impressive for 1927. Two-stroke, but notice it's not an expansion chamber. Expansion chambers had not been invented yet. They were developed during the war, actually developed by German scientists during the V1 and V2 rocket programs. So There's a whole book about it called Stealing Speed, if you want to read about it. But here's, look at this. Here's the valve, pressure release valve for the water jacket. So it's a really neat bike.
1930 stock Flying Squirrel. Got a 596cc parallel twin-cylinder engine, 3-speed manual, sold on a bill of sale. Nevada resident or Nevada dealer, display purposes only.
15,000, you're gonna get 15, you're gonna get 10, bid, you're gonna get 10, you're gonna get 1, you're gonna get 2. 2,000, you're gonna get 2, now $2,500 bid, you're gonna get 5, 3,000, you're gonna get 3. At $3,500, 4,000, you're gonna get 4 bid, you're gonna get 45. At 45, 5,000, now you're gonna get 5 bid, you're gonna get 5 here, you're gonna get 45, 5. At 5,000, you're gonna get 5,000, you're gonna get 5 bid, you're gonna get 5 here, you're gonna get 5. At $5,500 bid, you're gonna get 6,000, now you're gonna get 6. At 55, 6, now 5, $6,500 bid, you're gonna get 5 bid, you're gonna get 5. At $6,500 here, you're gonna get 7,000, now you're gonna get 7. At 7,000, you're gonna get 7, you're gonna get 7, you're gonna get 7, now reserve is up. At 67.5, now 7,000, you're gonna get 7 bid, 2.5. At 72.5 here, you're gonna get 2, 50 bid, you're gonna get 2, $5,500 bid, 75. At 7,500, 8,000, you're gonna get 8 bid, you're gonna get 85. $8,500 bid, you're gonna get 5 here, you're gonna get 8 bid, you're gonna get 8,000, you're gonna get 8, now 5, 9. At 9,000, you're gonna get 85, and now 95, 95. At $9,500 bid, you're gonna get 10,000, you're gonna get 10 bid, you're gonna get 10. At 10,000, you're gonna get now 11,000, you're gonna get 11 bid, 11 here, you're gonna get 10, 11. I have 10,000, 11,000, you're gonna get 10, 11, 12. 12,000, you're gonna get 12 bid, you're gonna get 12 here, you're gonna get 11 bid, you're gonna get 12. I have 11,000, you're gonna get 12,000. Last call now, you're gonna get 12, 13, 13,000, you're gonna get 13, you're gonna get 13, you're gonna get 13. Said no at 8,500 too. At 13, 14, I have 13, 14, no sir, I got 13, going up, 14, 13 bid, you're gonna get 14,000, you're gonna get 13, you're gonna get 14, and now 15,000, you're gonna get 15. At 15,000, you're gonna get 15, you're gonna get 15, you're gonna get $15,000, and now 16,000. I have 15, you're gonna get 16,000, you're gonna get 15, you're gonna get 16. So $15,000 to the Meganet.
So here we have a 72 750 Combat Commando. This one was restored by Baxter Cycles, and I have to say this is probably the finest Norton here. Not just in the sense that it has been thoroughly gone through, but it is a correct restoration, and you can see everything was rebuilt on it. It does have the Super Blend bearing upgrade on it, as well as several other things to make it more reliable. Just an absolutely gorgeous bike, in amazing condition as well. But I mean, it should be because it's a restored bike. This one I think will probably be a high number seller at some point because it has a lot of interest. And it's just an unbelievably pretty motorcycle.
Now offering T72, a 72 Norton Commando 750 Combat Roadster. Comprehensive restoration and build, rebuild gearbox and primary, includes owner's handbook.
20,000 of it, I'm gonna be a Commando, I'm gonna be a 20 down, I'm gonna be a 15 to 10, and a 10 here, I'm gonna be a 10 here, I'm gonna be a 10, I'm gonna be a 5 bid, I'm gonna be a $6,000 7, and 7 pound, 8 pound, 8 pound, 9, I'm gonna be a 9,000 of it, I'm gonna be a 8,000, 9,000, and 9, I'm gonna be a 8, I'm gonna be a 9,000 all, 8,000 of it, I'm gonna be a 9 pound, I'm gonna be 8 of it, I'm gonna be a 9,000, and a 9 bid, I'm gonna be a 9, I'm gonna be a 9 pound, I'm gonna be a 9 pound, 9 pound, 10, I'm gonna be a 10, and a 10 pound, 10, 11,000 of it, 10, 11, 12, and a 12 here now, 11 of it, 12,000 down, I'm gonna be a 12,000, 11 pound, 12, I'm gonna be a 12 bid down, I'm gonna be a 12 here, 11 pound, 12 pound bid, in 12, I'm gonna be a 12 here, 11,000, we're gonna be the last call, you want to get 12, in 12 down, I'm gonna be a 12 here, I'm gonna be a 12 pound, 11 pound, I'm gonna be a 12,000, 11 a bid, I'm gonna be a 12, I'm gonna be a bit short there, I'm gonna be a 12 down to 11, 5, now 12, 11, 5, 12 bid down, I'm gonna be a 11, 5 in the back, 12,000 a bid, 11, 5 is a bid, 12,000, 11, 5, 12, I'm gonna be a 12 here, I'm gonna be a 12, 5, down 5, in a 5 bid, 12, 5 down, I'm gonna be a 5, and 12, 5, in 5, I'm gonna be a 5 bid, I'm gonna be a 12 here, 12, 5, I'm gonna be a 5, and 12, 5, 13,000, now 13, thank you, 5, I'm gonna be 13, 5 bid, I'm gonna be 13,000, 5, in a 5 bid, get 13 bid, 13, 5, I'm gonna be a 5 here, 13, 5, 13,000, 5, I'm gonna be a 5, sir, 13, 5, in a 5 bid, I'm gonna stay on the seat here, I'm gonna be a 5, 13, 5, in 5, I'm gonna be a 5, 5, I'm gonna be 13 pound, 5, in a 5 bid, I'm gonna be a 5, 5, I'm gonna be 13 pound, 5 here, hands high to a 5, you're gonna get 13, 5, 13, 5, 13,000, 5 bid, in a 5 bid, I'm gonna be 13, I'm gonna be a 5, is it gonna work? Gonna be a 5 pound, 13 pound, 5 here, 13, 5, 14, 13, 5, 14,000, 13, 5, I'm gonna be a 14 bid, 13, 5, I'm gonna be as it is, I'm gonna be a 14, I'm gonna be 13, 5, 14 pound bid, I have, anything else, 13, 5, $14,000, last call, I have.
We're going to close it here at $13,500. Alex, it takes $17,000 to buy the bike today. It takes $17,000, so if you'd like to advance your bid to 17, I can sell it to you right now. Otherwise, we get in that middle ground, and that kind of opens up for everybody. It's up to you. And it is. We are done at $13,500, and it goes on. Thank you.
Now offering T70.
So here's an interesting bike. This is an 83 Harley-Davidson XLX. It is still an iron head, but it's not an iron head in the way people think it is. Like, usually when you think about iron heads, you think about the 60s bikes that have sprung saddles and, you know, drum brakes. And this is kind of the modern prototype for the Evo Sportsters that came later. In fact, the first Evos still use the same bottom ends as these. But this one, it has the Morris Mag style wheels. It has more modern bodywork. It's just an overall clean, nice bike. I don't see these being big sellers, unfortunately. I think they're a great value. Somebody's going to get a good deal on it, hopefully, today. But yeah, if you're looking for a vintage experience, it's a good, cheap way to get into it. But it doesn't always have the look. It looks a little more modern than you would expect it. This one has something interesting as we start to see the stickers show up. These, you don't see these on earlier iron heads. You just see the VIN numbers. But here you start to see the stickers that came out in the late 70s, early 80s. Also, a lot of the lights moved from the eyebrow. That's what this indentation is here in the eyebrow, was for all the idiot lights, to a more modern, square, labeled set of lights. And the switchgear is more modern too, right? Overall, a really nice looking bike. And if you want to see what I mean by it doesn't feel vintage, here's a Sprint that's a 64. Now these use a lot of Harley parts, Sportster parts too, even though these are Air Mach-E engined with that laydown 350. But when you look at the switchgear, like this versus that, it's leaps and bounds different. Still a nice bike though, but yeah, this is vintage. It feels vintage. This engine is from the same era, but frame is more modern, bodywork is more modern. The tank is not. The tank is still the original 50s Sportster tank, but yeah, the switchgear is modern, the gauges are modern. So I think that's why they tend not to attract as much as the earlier iron heads, which really don't attract a lot of money anyway. Iron heads are a good value. So let's go to the bidding and see what's going on.
T56 and 83 Harley-Davidson XLX on the original 1000cc. Boise in running condition, 7,000 miles.
Harley time here. I'm going to go 5 pound here. I'm going to be there for a little time. I'm going to $1,000 $2. $1,000 going to go 2 pound, pound 2. I'm going to go 2 pound. $1,000 going to go 2,000. It's 2. I'm going to go 1 pound. I'm going to go 2 here. I'm going to go 1 pound. I'm going to go 2 pound. $1,000 somebody get 2,000 again. $1,000 somebody get 1,500. 2,005. It's 2 here 5 and 5 here down. I'm going to go 5 down 2. I'm going to go 5 down 2 down 5. Hit 5. I'm going to go 5 here. I'm going to go 2 again. Anderson 25 here. I'm going to go 2,005. Hit up 5 here. I'm going to go 25. I'm going to go 2 here in the middle. I'm going to go 5. Hit 5. I'm going to go 5 here. I'm going to go 5 to 5. I'm going to go 25. I'm down 7. Hit 5 here. 7 half. I'm going to go 5 here. 7 half 3. Hit 3. I'm going to go 3 grand. I'm going to go 3 down. That's 7. I'm going to go 3 down. Hit 3. I'm going to go 3 down. 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 Last call. I'm half 3,000. So 27 half sold. 2,750 Travis.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets rained there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet Outstanding, Jim. Thank you so much. One more round of applause for our veterans that are here. You can stay standing if you wish, sit if you wish. You can 5, 5, 5, 22 and a half, 5, 25, 27 and a half, now 3,000. You better get 3. At 3 here, you better get 3 bid. You better get 3. You better get 22 and a half's the bid. You better get 2,500. At 25, 27 and a half, now 3,000. You better get 3. I have $2,750 bid. You better get 3,000. You better get 3 bid. You better get 3. So $2,750 Jordan Hunter.
Now offering T6.
So here is the other nicest Norton Commando I've seen. This one's a 75. It is the last year of the Commando, and it's notable because it's the only year that is left side shift. All the others are right side shift due to American government mandate. It is also the only year that is factory electric start. There's the electric starter there, although this one has been redone by Dyno Dom. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Also, rear disc brakes. And this has the Pea Shooter Commando exhaust, wrote for a roadster, and the unique, a lot of the earlier bikes don't have that. This has Colorado Norton Works modern switchgear on it because it has a modern electronic start. And this one also, you can see, has been regasketed, so it's been gone early. And no oil leaks on this. Let me tell you, it is a gorgeous bike. We'll see what this one hammers for.
Norton 850 Commando Mark III. Train up restoration, 4-speed manual gearbox, no reserve.
Somebody get 20,000, you better get 20, you better get 15, bid, you better get 15, you better get 10. At $10,000 bid, you better get 10, bid, you better get 10, bid, you better get 1,000, you better get 2,000, you better get 3. At 3,000, you better get 4,000, you better get 5,000, you better get 6,000, you better get 7. At 8,000, you better get 8 bid, you better get 8 bid, you better get 8 bid, you better get 9 bid, you better get 10,000, 11. 11,000, you better get 11 bid, 11,000, you better get 10, 11 bid, 11. And now 12,000, you better get 13,000, you better get 13, you better get 13, you better get 13. At 14,000, you better get 15,000, you better get 15 bid, you better get 16,000. At 16,000, you better get 15 bid, you better get 16, you better get 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20. At 20,000, you better get 20 bid, you better get 20, you better get 20, you better get 20 now 2. At 22,000, you better get 3,000, you better get 4,000, you better get 5,000, you better get 25, 6, 26,000, you better get 6 bid, you better get 5 bid, you better get 6,000. I have 25,000, you better get 26,000. That's him, 25 there, now 6. At 25 bid, you better get 26,000 here. 25 is the bid. Anybody get 26,000, you better get 5 bid, you better get 6. So 25,000.
So here's a beautiful RZ350. These actually belong to Mr. CBX, friends of ours from Columbus, Ohio. And we'll see what these go. These are the last 2 strokes. So hey, and here's the owner, Jan. What's up?
Good.
You excited for this one?
Absolutely. They're all going through it, right?
Yeah.
So it's another no reserve bike, so whoever bids is going to buy it.
Right. What do you think it's going to go for?
Should be making about probably between 12 and 15K. But
That's what I thought too.
it's a soft day at the moment, so we'll see.
It is. It's Thursday.
Yeah.
Yamaha RZ350. Kenny Roberts with a 2-stroke, no reserve.
500 pair, 500 Yamaha, 100 500 2, 100 2 pound on a man, 200 25 500 down 3, 100 down 3, 3 500 down 4, 100 4 45, 45 down 5, down 5 pound on a 50, 5 600 bid, down 6 here down 500 down 7 pound on a 7, and now 7 bid down 500 75, 8 pound on a bid, and now 8 down 9 down 900 9,000. 800 9 have it a bid, have it a bid down 9, and 8 pound under 9 pound under. You want to give 85 and another? 85, 85, 8 pound under bid, 85, 85 under another. Now 9, now 9. I get 85, now 9, now 10. Just give 10, sir. 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 11 pound under. 10, 5, get 11. You want to get 11, sir? 10 pound a bid, 11 pound under. David, get 10, 5, David, get 11,000. So 10,000 pound under Jordy.
Here's an absolutely gorgeous XLCR cafe racer, a performance Harley-Davidson Ironhead, if you can believe it. Just absolutely gorgeous bike and pretty good condition. The pipe being the signature thing here with Siamese pipes. But right behind it is an XR1000 with the aluminum heads. This was the attempt to make an XR750 street legal, but it used the Sportster bottom end So it doesn't actually share parts with an XR race bike. This one's done up as a flat tracker, and it is phenomenal. 8500 reserve is off. It's going to sell. Oh, sold for $8,500.
Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Oh, we got 10,000.
You're right. So, $10,500.
$10,500. This absolutely gorgeous early Ironhead Sportster. It is a, I don't even know the year on it, 61. And it is just very pretty. Very stock, too. Interesting thing, here's the voltage regulator. It's, if it looks like a car regulator, it is. This would be an XLCH because there's no electric start. It uses the horseshoe oil tank. And there's the tin primary. The charging system would be right there, and that's why the regulator is there. Normally, on the XLHs, it would be mounted here, but since it has the horseshoe oil tank, these got mounted on the back of the generator. And it is a generator, not an alternator. Some interesting upgrades here. It looks like he's got aftermarket Excel coils and wires. But otherwise, the bike is stock, and it has an early eyebrow. Notice that there's no indentation here for the two idiot lights. It's a single smooth one with the one light and the high beam switch. Just an absolutely gorgeous bike, but look, no oil and engine, so this thing hasn't been run. Has a little bit of corrosion on the polished aluminum, but that's something a little polish could take right out. Also, pipes, they could be in better shape, but they're not terrible. Just a very pretty blue color. Gorgeous. Oh, here's something interesting. He has springs on the saddle and a bait seat instead of the plunger system that would normally go with the stock solo saddle. So the plunger system is capped off in there. All you do is pop the caps off and insert the pogo sticks, and you can put it back to a plunger saddle. But it has the much smaller bait seat. Otherwise, gorgeous bike.
1961 Harley-Davidson XLCH Sport you're out here, 6,500, 7,000 out of it, internet, 6,500, 7,000 out of it, so 6,500.
Here's a rare bike to see in the U.S. This is an NSR 400, a road-going homologation two-stroke from Honda, which is highly unusual. This one has aftermarket expansion chambers on it. Just very pretty bike. I don't think these were actually imported to the U.S. I think they're all gray market here, and this one is in excellent condition. Just the pinnacle of two-stroke racing. After this, the GP would go to four strokes, and they'd be 900s and 1000s. But this was the era of the 500cc Grand Prix two-stroke racing bike, and they needed these bikes to homologate them.
Now offering T155.1 1947 NHC. Used very sparingly, 74 cubic inch V-twin engine, tank shifted 3-speed.
60,000. 5 here, I'm gonna go to 25, 30 bid, 30,000 at 25 here, and 30,000 bid, and 30, I'm gonna go to 25 down, I'm gonna go to 30, 25, I'm gonna go to 30,000, and 30, I'm gonna go to 25 down, I'm gonna go to 30 bid, I'm gonna go to 25, 30,000 bid, and 30, I'm gonna go to 30 bid, I'm gonna go to 25 down, 30 down, 5, 35, and I'm gonna go to 5, okay, there's Zach there, 5 down, 40 bid, I'm gonna go to 35, 40,000, and 40, I'm gonna go to 35, I'm gonna go to 40, 35, 7 bid, and 35 down, 7 here, I'm gonna go to 37 pound bid, 35, 7 bid, and 5 down, 7 here, I'm gonna go to 5 bid, I'm gonna go to 7 down, I'm gonna go to 35, 7 hands high, and 5 bid, 7 last call here, I'm gonna go to 5 down, 37,000. Closing at 35, we're 10 grand shy.
Now I'll bring T156 and 86 on that NS400R. Comprehensive restoration signed by Freddie Spencer, Canadian edition. Factory exhaust is included.
I'm going to be that time here. I'm going to be the 35 pounds. I'm going to be the 30 down. I'm going to be the 20. Who gets 10? I'm 10 to bid. I'm going to be the 10 here. I'm going to be the 5,000. I'm going to be the 7,000. And a 10. And a 10. I'm going to be the 10 pound. I'm going to be the 12 here. 12. I'm going to be the 15. 15, 16, 18, now 18, 16, 17, 17 pound bid. I'm going to the 16, 17 bid. It's 17 pound. I'm going to the 16 bid. 17 pounds. It's 17. I'm going to be the 17, 16. I'm going to be the 17 bid. I'm going to be the 17, 16, 18 pound, 18, 17, 18 bid. I'm going to be 18 pound bid. 18 down, 19, down, 19, 18 bid. 20 bid. I'm 20 down. I'm going to be the 20 down bid. I'm going to be the 1 down, 1 down, 1 down. I'm going to be the 2 down, 2 down, 3. It's 8 down. I'm going to be the 2 down. I'm going to be the 3 down, 2 down, 3. I'm going to be the 3. It's 3. I'm going to be the 3 down, 2 down. I'm going to be the 3 down, 23,000. It's 3. I'm going to be the 3 down. I'm going to be the 1 down. I'm going to be the 2 down. I'm going to be the 1 0 2. It's down 1 down 2. I'm going to be the 3 down 3. It's 3. I'm going to be the 2 down. I'm going to be the 3 down 2 down 3. I'm going to be the 3 down 2 to bid. I'm going to be the 3 and I'm 4. I'm going to be the 3 here 4. And 4. I'm going to be the 4 down 4. I'm going to be the 3 down 4 down 3 down 4. And 3 is the bid. 23, 24. I'm going to 5, 6, 7 and 7 to bid. I'm going to be 6, 7 and 7 down. I'm going to be the 7 here. 6, 7 to bid. I'm going to be I'm going to be the 7 and 7 to bid. I'm going to be the 7 here. 25. I'm going to be the 4. I'm going to be the 5. Going to that 24 down 5. And the 5 bid. I'm going to be the 5 and 5. I'm going to be the 5 and 5. I'm going to be the 5. I'm going to be the 3. I'm going to be the 5 down 3 down 5 and 3 to bid. I'm going to be the 5 and 5. I'm going to be the reserve is on the way. 23, 25,000 and 5. I'm going to be the 5. I'm going to be the Hesses and all. I'm going to be the 4. I'm going to be the 3. I'm going to be the 4 and 3 to bid. I'm going to be the 4 down 4. I'm going to be the 3. I'm going to be the 24,000. So 23,000 on the internet.
Now I'll bring
So I gotta tell you, it's about 1 o'clock Vegas time here, and as the day wears on, it is intense to have to deal with all this, especially if you're on the floor listening to them go all the time. I had to take a break, walk around. It's a lot. It is motorcycle overload, so you have to be prepared for it. But on the other side, I've seen things here that I haven't seen ever, and I've seen things here I haven't seen in ages, including bikes I used to know. So, yeah, it's been a fun time so far. Now to dive back into it and see what things are selling for. So this is quite an amazing motorcycle right here. Look at this. No fins on the cylinders. Open primary, 100 cubic inches. It is a shovel head drag bike, 76 cases, but nothing in here is stock. Cosman rear hub. Here's the wheelie bar extensions here. Just absolutely gorgeous strut bars. So there's no rear suspension. I believe it's a ratchet top trans, but look, Fairbanks Morse Magneto. Here's the fuel pump for Hillborn fuel injection, and look at this massive wiring. So here's the tank vent, and I have to imagine that these are the return lines, and this is the fuel feed line here, because this thing must be pumping a ton. Hurst Earhart brakes, master cylinder, with GMA caliper right here. And these are Ceriani road race forks. These are 35 millimeter Ceriani road race forks. It is unbelievable motorcycle for when you have to absolutely scare yourself with a Harley-Davidson. Not street legal, of course, but very, very fun.
T169.1 from the Kent Ridges collection. Harley-Davidson drag bike V-twin with a 4-speed, sold on a bill of sale for display purposes only. No reserve.
No reserve. Higher David, 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 get 30, get 30, get 20. And somebody get 20, somebody get 10,000. And 10, here down 10. Higher David, get 10,000. Under David, get 10. Somebody get $5,000. 5, get 5,000. Under David, get 5. Higher David, get 5 a bid. Under David, get 5, get 5, get 2. Higher David, get 2,000. Under David, get 10, get $1,000. $2,000, down 3, down 3, 3,000, 2, 3, 4. Iron David get 4, sir, down 5, and down 5,000 bid, 100 David 5. Right up in the second row, blue shirt, 4, 5. Iron David get 4 to bid, and down 6, down $6,000, sir. Iron David get down 6 here. Iron David get $6,000, yep, right there. Iron David get here 6,000, yep, there he is. Iron David get here 55. You want to get 55, sir, and now $6,000 bid. Iron David get down 15, $500 down 6. It's 6. Iron David get down $6,000 bid, I get 55, 6 down 5, now 65, and $500 bid, 100 David at 5. I get $6,000, anybody else is $6,500 bid. It's $600 down, David at $500 bid. Mitch has a bid. I had $600 down, $500 bid. 100 David get David get $500. All in are done. It's 600 David get $500 bid and a half. So it's $6,000. Zach Mitchell on the phone.
Offering
So, who's a Mad Max fan? I'm a Mad Max fan, and I love this. This is a replica of the Goose's Pursuit Special KZ1000 from the first Mad Max movie. Look at this. Just filled with detail. Unbelievable.
1982 Suzuki GSX 1000 SV Katana with a 5-speed, highly original condition, offering T173 from the Kent Rich's collection, a 79 Kawasaki KZ1000 with a 5-speed.
Yep, Iron David and David, 100 David and no, sir. Iron David get 100 David and 20. Iron David get 20, get 20, 100 David at 20, 10. Somebody get $10,000 bid. 10, 5, $5,000, 5. Yep, 500 David at 5,000. Yep, 500 David at 2, 3. Iron David get 3. Iron David get 3 bid, 3 bid, down 3, down 3,000 bid, 100 David get 3, 4. Yep, 4,000 bid, 100 David get 3, David get 4 again, 400 David get 4, 5. And now 5,000. David get $5,000, $4,000, 5, $600 bid. Yep, 5, 6. Iron David at 5,000 down 6 here. Yep, 5,000 down 6,000. 100 David get $5,000 is bid. David get $6,000. David get $5,500 bid. $5,500. Yep, 5,000 down 50, $500 bid. Mitch's way. And 5,000 down 50, $500 and a half. So, $5,000 Mitchell.
Now offering lot T173.1 from the Charles Calco collection, 82 Honda CB.
So those who are regular to my channel know about my Volkswagen motorcycle that's based on a 1968 R69S. Well, here is a 1968 R69S as it would have been in stock form with the Earl's Fork. So this was what my Volkswagen bike started out life as. Unfortunately, it's been cut to the point where it can't be put back to this, which is a shame because this is 4 times more valuable than my Volkswagen. But still, it is a cool bike, not a very fast bike, unfortunately. They struggle to pull a sidecar. I think they make 36 or 38 horsepower, maybe 40. Whereas the Volkswagen is 53 horsepower and 70 foot-pounds of torque. But this is quite a gorgeous motorcycle. Here's the Earl's Fork. Now, an Earl's Fork, a lot of people call them leading link forks, but there is a specific difference that makes an Earl's Fork an Earl's Fork. And it has to do with where the pivot is. If the pivot is behind the tire, it's an Earl's Fork. If it's in front or next to the tire, it's a leading link. But otherwise, this is a very beautiful bike. So here's a very beautiful 1973/5, R75/5. But this is actually an Otto Lubitsky prepped bike. These Lubitsky did racing bikes in Germany. And this is one of the 3 that were imported to the U.S. And I think it had a famous actor as an owner, not Steve McQueen. But it is a phenomenal bike, and quite rare too. Still a kickstart and electric start motorcycle. The /5s had 4 speeds with the /2 style sideways kickstarter. Another interesting thing about /5s is here's the choke. Most people think it's on the Bing carburetors, but it's actually in the airbox itself. But this has a very beautiful quarter fairing, clip-ons, period correct rear sets. I believe it has high compression pistons and lightened valves and the whole thing. Doesn't have the usual toaster tank though. This has the larger touring tank. The dashboard still does have the back of the headlight gauge, Although being in this three-quarter fairing, you can't really see it. Just an overall gorgeous bike, and quite rare.
That's for the first beat.
Yes, sir. David down, tear down 20. All right, David get 20, bid down 20. David get down, get down 20. David get 20, David get 20, David get 15. All right, David get 15. Down to the bid. David get 15, David get 15, David get 15. David get there 10. All right, David get there 7. Put up at 8. All right, David get 8, 9,000, 10. $10,000. You get 9, 10, 11. Here's about 11, 12, 13. You're gonna be 13, Darren. $13,000. You get 12 here. 13, $13,000. 12, 13. All right, David get 12 here. 13. All right, David get 13, 13. Down to the bid. All right, David get 13. David get 13. Down to the bid. Anybody else at $13,000 to get $12,000. 13. Hit 13. All right, David get 12 here. 13,000. 12 here. 13. Down to the bid. All right, David get 13. Anybody else at $13,000? 12,000. 13. All right, David get 13. All right, David get 13. Pound out of bid, David get 12 here, 13, pound out of bid, and close bid at $12,000.
Next up, lot T168, 1973 BMW R75 5S Levitsky. One of only 24 produced worldwide, one of only 3 that were imported into the United States, and the second owner was actor Sterling Hayden.
Yep, right. David there 20. All right, David get 20. David get 20 bid. David at 20,000. David get 20. David get 20. David get 20. David get here 15. All right, David get 15. So we get 10,000 here. 10. Yep, 10. David get 10. Yep, 10,000. David get 10. David get 10. David get 10 bid. David get 10. David get 10. David get $5,000. And so we get about 3, 4, 4,000. Put them at 4, 5, 6, 7 again 7, 8. 8,000, 7,000, $8,000. I got 7 here, 8, 9, pound 9, get 9, 9,000, 10, down 10, you get 9, 10. All right, David, get here, 10,000, 900, David, down there, 10. All right, David, get 10,000. You guys, you're all out in left field. You're going to be 10,000 bid. I got $9,500 bid, down 10. I'm 95 is bid, 10,000 bid. I'm 95, 10, 10. All right, David, get here, 10. All right, David, get 10, 5, down 10, 5, sir. And 10 to bid, 10, 5, I get 10 bid, 10, 5, and 10, 5, 10,000, David, 5. I'm a 10,000 down, $500 bid, 100 bid, 10, now 11, and now $11,000 bid, I'm 10, 5, down 11,000, 11,000 down, 10, 5 bid, down 11,000, yes or no? All right, David, get 10, 5 bid, 11,000 bid, 100 bid, 10, 5 bid, down 11, I get 10, 5 bid, $11,000, 10, 5 on the way, 11,000 bid, and 11,000, down 5, now 11, 5, guys. I got 3 bidders wanting to know if they're sale or not. I got $11,000, 11,500. Anybody else? $11,500, 11,500, 11,500. Now 12, 11, 5, 12, 13, 13. I think 15 is going to be the magic number, but some of them want to be 13 first. You got to get there. 13, 13, 13. All right, David, get Darren, George, Alex, $13,000. We're all out here in left field. Who wants to be 13? All right, David, get Darren. 13. Now 14. Now you missed your spot. You're going to be $14,000. Reserves off. I got 13 to bid, $14,000. George, 14. $14,000, 13, 14, $100, 14,000. So $13,000, Darian.
Offering T168.1 from the Kent Riches Collection, a 1987 Honda CBR.
3 bid, you're going to get 3, you're going to get 3, you're going to get 3, you're going to get $2,500 bid, 3, now $3,500. 2 winner.
Now offering T183, a 1954 NSU Sport Max Road Racer replica. Got a 4-speed manual gearbox, sold on a bill of sale, pressed steel metal frame.
15,000, you're going to get 15 bid, you're going to get 15, you're going to get $10,000. At 10,000, you're going to get 10 bid, you're going to get 10, you're going to get 10, you're going to get 10, you're going to get 5,000, you're going to get 6. At 6,000, you're going to get 7,000, you're going to get 7, you're going to get 7, you're going to get 7, you're going to get 7. At $7,000 for it. At 7,000, you're going to get 8,000, you're going to get 8 bid, you're going to get 9,000, you're going to get 8 bid, you're going to get 9. I have 8,000, you're going to get 9,000, you're going to get 9 bid, you're going to get 9 bid, you're going to get $8,500. At $8,500 bid, you're going to get 5 bid, now 9,000, you're going to get 85.95. At $9,500 bid, you're going to get 95 bid, you're going to get 5 bid, you're going to get 10,000, you're going to get 10. At $10,000, now $500 bid, 11,000, put them at 11 bid, 11,005. 11,500 bid, you're going to get 5 bid, you're going to get 5 bid, 10,500 is the bid, 11,500, 10,500 bid, 11,500 bid, you're going to get 5 bid, you're going to get 5 bid, you're going to get 10,500 bid, 11. Give $11,000. Now 5. Anybody know? 11,000, 11,500. I have 11,000. You're going to get $500 bid, 11 bid. You're going to get 500. I have $11,000. 11's a bid. 11,500. 11 bid, 5. Reserve is on. 11,000. You're going to get $500 bid. You're going to get 5 bid. 11 bid. You're going to get 500. I have $11,000 bid. You're going to get 500. Sold $11,000. So
Taking another break again from the auctioneer while they do all the 90s sport bikes and then the custom assembled choppers. A couple observations. One is choppers, nobody wants them here. They seem to go very cheap. There were 2 yesterday that I was shocked went for as inexpensive as they did, and there's one now that's going to go that I don't think is going to crack $3,000, and it's an Evo Stroker SNS motor in a Softail. Other couple observations: clean. This is the audience that likes clean bikes. Patina bikes don't sell nearly as well as the clean, fully restored motorcycles, unless you have a fantastic story. But you have to have a documented, fantastic story. And what I mean by documented is it has to be in a book. It has to have like somebody, more than 6 guys on your softball team have to know the story. So you have to, maybe photos, that kind of stuff. So unless you got a good story, clean bikes bring money. Surprised at some of the smaller bikes. Yamaha, like 360s and 175s from the 70s, the ones with the half moon tanks, bring a shocking amount of money. I saw one for $10,000. It was like a DT360 or something, and it $10,000. You know, there are people that collect vintage dirt bikes. I'm not one of them. I don't know that market. There was an absolute bargain somebody scored today on a Veloset KSS. I think it was under $10,000. It was just an absolutely gorgeous restored Veloset. But I think, you know, Veloset has sort of fallen out of people's memories now. You know, the young kids don't know what they are. Neither do the Gen Xers. So it leaves the old guys. And the old guys just, you know, maybe they don't want them. Maybe they don't need kickstart bikes, because that's the other thing, is that not a lot of these 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s bikes are electric start. Well, the 70s ones are, but the 50s and 60s ones aren't. So, other big thing, blue chip bikes are blue chip bikes, right? BSAs don't seem to do anything unless they're gold stars in terms of price. You know, Triumphs, if they're Bonnevilles, they do great. If they're special, they do great. A couple other observations. Knucklehead Harleys do well. You know, Panheads do well-ish if they're clean and they're nicely restored, or they're nice originals. Just the stuff you expect to be expensive is expensive. That doesn't mean that there aren't bargains to be had, because I've just seen some amazing ones. Another thing is 70s super bikes do pretty well, but you have to know what you're looking at. GS 1000S do fantastic. Z1s do fantastic. KZ 1000s do not do fantastic. Doesn't matter how clean it is, because it's just such a later bike. CB750 is kind of hit or miss. If the cleaner a CB750 is, it's like a Ford Mustang. The cleaner a CB750 is, the more money it's going to bring. I saw a very nice original 73 get $3,500, right? And then right after it, a very clean 72 got $10,000. So those are my observations so far. I'm going to go out into the warehouse and look at some more bikes. So I don't think we've talked about like how some of the wilder stuff that I can't even imagine people buying is here, but this is really cool. This is a twin engine Evo powered motorcycle. So I've only seen twin engines in drag bikes. This is a street bike with 2 Evos joined with a primary, and it is just, this is a lot of work, and it's long too. If I pace it out, it's got to be 8 to 10 feet long, you know. But yeah, this isn't the only crazy thing that's here either, like one of a kind thing. There are some absolutely bonkers bikes just waiting to find a home, and I can't even imagine how to value something like this, because I mean, you got to have like the same taste as the guy who owned it and built it and painted it, and I'm just not an orange guy. Though I do love Flake. And I don't even know what this is. This is some controller? Oh, I guess it's the controller for all the electronics. This is fun. Bizarre, but fun. Here's another bonkers thing I can't even imagine owning. Look at this. It's a bagger on air ride. And right now it's laying frame because there's no way to get a kickstand underneath it. This is an impressive amount of work, by the way. The cylinders are cut in a unique pattern. I mean, look at this thing. Everything is hand stitched. The paintwork is amazing. I can't imagine riding this. Oh, and here's the funny thing I learned about all these baggers. It's only the front wheel that's gigantic. The rear wheel here, this is going to be a stock wheel, if you can see it under there. It's not, yeah. I mean, why would you put a big wheel in the back, right? Why would you balance it out? It's supposed to look like a sled dragging down the road. So, yeah, it's cool. I'm glad it exists in the world. I love creative people and art, but this is not for me to own. I think it's awesome. Hopefully tomorrow there's 2 other guys that think it's awesome and they can fight about it. So here's a bike that has a little bit of a personal connection for me. Not this actual example, but this type. This is a Moto Guzzi CX100. These were US only based Le Manses because they couldn't get the 850 emission certified in 1979, 78 or 79. They stuck the 1000 SP engine in the Le Mans chassis. So it's a Le Mans road racer, or cafe racer, but it's got the touring truck engine instead of the real revvy light flywheel 850 engine. Now, why it's personal to me is I owned one of these. I had a 79 CX100 in all black, and the only difference between mine and this one is I didn't have the dash. I had the Le Mans 1 bubble fairing, which I think is the most gorgeous Moto Guzzi ever made. The Moto Guzzi Le Mans 1, 850 Le Mans. These things are kind of hated among Moto Guzzi people because, you know, it's like putting a truck motor in a Corvette, right? It doesn't perform the same way. But I still think these are gorgeous looking bikes, and you know, there's a lot to be said for this one. It's very clean. I'm hoping that this one's a bargain tomorrow because I really like it. It does have a few like little nits, like the fiberglass here, and you know, but it is a fantastic looking motorcycle. So my phone died, so I had to wait till I got back to the hotel room to get a charger. But yeah, that's Mecum Day 2 in the bag. A lot more interesting things going on today from a first-time observation standpoint. One, a good value to this is networking with people. If you have vintage bikes and you want to buy and sell, and you're in the right place to find other people who want to buy your vintage bike or want to sell you a vintage bike outside of the auction. So, for instance, I ran into one of the guys who had a 73 H1 that went to auction today. And when I spoke to him, he said he was looking for another triple project. And I said, well, by coincidence, I have a 73 in my basement. It's in boxes. And he goes, well, here's my number. Shoot me some pictures, and we'll see if there's a deal to be made. You know, I also got to talk to somebody who's a Laverda expert for a bike that I've been looking at as a private sale outside the auction, and I didn't have a good value of because I don't know anything about Laverdas. I mean, who does? Apparently this guy. So there are people out there that do know about Laverdas, but they're harder to find because how many Laverdas are actually out there? Not that many. You know, it's not like a Ducati or a Guzzi. It's a bike that's while still valuable, sort of fallen off the map. So networking is a huge part of this. Even if you don't buy anything, networking is a big part. We did get to bid on something today. We bid on some stuff in the road art. I feel bad saying this, but I feel like most of that road art stuff is overpriced. Not to say that, like, I mean, prices are subjective and it's just my feeling and my opinion, but there were 2 modern signs with vintage Indians on it with like these modern cheapy buy at Michael's clock movements set into them. And I saw them sell for hundreds of dollars. Now granted, maybe they were hand painted. I didn't get a very good look at them, but there wasn't anything like there wasn't any antique value to it. It was like a more of a craft fair thing. So I think that it was an easy sell for something, especially, you know, the road art stuff I realize is probably an easy sell for a lot of people, because there's people who come here to say they just bid on something. If they bid on something at Mecum, right? I came to Mecum, I bought something at Mecum. Oh, what'd you buy? I bought this Indian clock. You know, it's from Indian Motorcycles and it's a clock. So, you know, or I bought a print of Ed Big Daddy Roth, you know, it's a motorcycle and it says, you don't, if I have to explain it, you wouldn't understand, kind of thing. Like, you know, there's stuff there that I get why they're paying for it, you know, but you're buying the experience of, and more than the thing having an intrinsic value, which, by the way, is also like motorcycles here, right? There are some motorcycles here that I just didn't understand the pricing. I watched a Cambodian market Vespa Sprint sell for $4,000, and everybody I know who knows Vespas knew not to put their hand up when that thing crossed the block. You know, in fact, I didn't see who bought it, but you know what? It was a pretty bike. It ran. It was a good color combination. If you just want something, you know, that's the thing about this, right? Money is a funny thing, and people's perspective of money is a funny thing. So there are some people who can look at something and say, well, that's $4,000 worth of fun, and I have $4,000, and I want $4,000 worth of fun, without looking at it as like, oh, I want to get $4,000 out of this later, you know? There's buyers like that, and then there's buyers who are like, well, I just want this thing, it tickles my fancy and whatever. And then there's people who's like, well, if I'm buying this, there has to be an upside to it, you know? I have to be able to pull my money out of it in a year or 2 years as an investment vehicle. And by the way, vehicle pun intended, I get to use it that entire time too. So there is a recreational utility to the investment that I'm purchasing. I get to use my motorcycle for a year. I get to get out of it, maybe for more money than I paid. And then I get to move on. Now, while there are people that make money at this, the thing I've come to realize from all this, and first of all, there are no poor people here. Let's be honest. Everybody here is at least middle class to upper middle class or up, right? There are very few people here that aren't working this event, that are just here to bid, that are, you know, lower middle class to lower middle class, right? So that's the first thing. Like there's no poor people here. There's no average Joe here. This is people with recreational spending money, which means that the demographic also skews way older. The people my age, and I'm no spring chicken at 45, are they're here, but they're fewer, you know. There are some, and it's good to talk to them and good to meet them, but most of this is the 55 and older set, you know, which means that the collecting there is much different, right? So people my age and younger, we don't have the same nostalgia for some of these vintage bikes that some of the older folks might have. I didn't grow up in the 60s looking at a Sprint in a dealership window. I grew up in the 90s looking at Magnas and Honda dealerships, and if there were any Magnas here, I'd probably be drooling over them. But then again, Magnas don't bring money, right? And we don't think of a 90s bike as a antique motorcycle, but it is over 25 years old now. But yeah, so younger people like me tend to buy these things because they're identity. Motorcycles are identity accessories, right? We see ourselves in these things, and as part of that too, we want a story. Either a documented story or something that visually just tickles your mind enough that you can make up a story, right? So we pay for patina. We don't need things to be perfect. We just need them to be interesting looking, right? I can live with a scratch. I can live with a dent if there's, you know, character to it, just visual appeal. Whereas the older collectors that I've run into, cleanliness sells, right? If a bike is clean, it sells. And it sells for a premium. I've watched 2 Honda 750s today that went back to back with each other, and one was $3,500 and one was 10 grand. And the difference was, one was a tatty original unrestored bike with some faded paint and a few, nicks and dents and things here. And the other one was a perfectly restored, original looking stock motorcycle, of almost museum quality. So that's the part that, clean motorcycles, I believe, will always sell. But I think they really sell here. There's a value to that. There's a premium that comes with that. So yeah, that's just some of my observations, and I could be wrong. This is just things that I'm observing and conclusions I'm drawing. But it's been kind of fun. This is a really interesting experience. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe. If you want to chat, get at me in the comments. If you like something you saw, get at me in the comments. If you didn't like something you saw, get at me in the comments. There's no comment as a bad comment, in both ways. Meaning, if you don't comment, it's bad. And also, if you comment, there's no way it could be bad, even if you think it's bad. It doesn't matter. Interact. Interaction is what drives the internet. So let's hope that day 3 goes... is as fun as the last 2. Oh, that's the other thing I want to talk about. The prices were everywhere today. There was stuff. I saw a GB500 sell for $6,000, and then 5 bikes later, this similar GB500 struggled to get $3,200, right? And actually, I thought the second one for $3,200 was a better bike because it had some very tasteful upgrades. But I guess stock, this audience pays for stock, So anyway, prices were all over the map today. Tomorrow and Saturday, I expect we're going to see the big money. No whammies. So that's about it. Hit like, hit subscribe, interact, and I will see you with the next video. Thanks.